Good evening and welcome to another edition of Unstoppable with my lovely, beautiful, awesome, freaking amazing wife.
Who's kissing butt because he's been MIA from doing recordings with me for a few weeks now. Don't clear your throat.
Yes, we've had a lapse in judgment.
No, it wasn't we.
We, me, myself, and I.
Okay.
Those are my pronouns.
So we were thinking about our topic for tonight's conversation. And so many people want that forever happy after, the happily ever after. And you and I both had some disgustingly horrific, toxic relationships after we broke up the first time and before we got back together this time.
Yes.
So, how can we explain how we can go from such nasty toxicity to what he came up with? All right, we're going to copyright it because he came up with a new word. Soulmationship, because it is our soulmates. And he said it's a soulmationship. So it's not a relationship, it's a soulmationship.
Yes, y'all can tell I'm redneck.
I love my redneck.
And thank you.
So, how do you go from misery to unbelievably happy? I mean, it used to break my heart when you would call and say, I have 2 minutes. And I absolutely cringed because I knew how unhappy and your disposition just changed. I mean, we stayed friends. We were friends during that period, and you would just call me to talk to me and have some sanity. And literally, like when you were, I have 2 minutes, everything drained out of you, and it just was heart wrenching. And now, like, what is the before and after for you? What you had versus now in comparison?
So, our listeners are not dumb. They're going to ask about that 2 minutes. What does she mean by 2 minutes?
On the drive back.
On the drive back
to your dwelling, because it's not a home. It was correct. Not a home.
So as y'all may surmise, I was married when I met my lovely, amazing, freaking awesome, beautiful soulmate wife now. And I had my head up my butt, and I should have married her back then, but I didn't. I do not condone anyone cheating. But I was in a horrible relationship. So I guess to say, everybody's going to be different. Depends on where they're at in their life and in their family, in their family tree. Kids are involved. Is mom and dad living with them? Is their brother living with them? And they're married, to a man or woman, and so a lot of factors are involved there, and it came down to a choice for me. Hey, do I want to stay with this person, and knowing that I'm miserable, but in my mind, hey, maybe this is as good as it gets. Maybe this is my lot in life. Hey, I bought the wrong lottery ticket, and I'm just gonna, placate my life with several beers every day after work, putting Crown Apple in my coffee while I'm going to work.
That's so not easy for me to understand because that's not the you I know.
No, not now. No, now I'm 100% happy, ecstatic. I love coming home. I hate leaving, going to work. I can't wait to full-time retire and stay home and take care of my awesome, freaking amazing, beautiful soulmate.
Boy, are you putting it on thick.
I know, right? And take care of our daughter and our dogs and everything. And, just being able to have that freedom to go to bed, wake up, and not be pressured to go anywhere, do anything other than what we choose. Yeah, so my choice was, I really had to get out in front of the tree. And, I was still stubborn. Everybody kept telling me for years and years and years, and, especially family, but I didn't listen to them. So a choice, folks have to make a choice. Do I want to stay miserable for the remainder of my life with person X, or do I want to take a chance? And I won't say there's other fish in the sea, but there's a soulmate out there for me. And you may meet them at the grocery store. You may meet them at a bar.
You may meet them in the parking lot getting hazed.
That's right. You may, it just, getting coffee. It may be that barista behind there. It may be that Chick-fil-A worker. You just never know. So, it's different, for everyone to answer to try to answer your question.
How do you acclimate yourself from the life you had before to now?
So, okay, that may be a little tougher because I'm still a redneck. I still like simplicity. I'm very frugal.
I am too.
Even then, I did it out of necessity because, I had to always spend the money on person X. And, she wanted all expensive stuff and blah, blah, blah. And I was just always working for her. So now, I say, okay, I got to change a little. Maybe I can splurge and, buy me a new Henry 4570, rifle to go hunting. Yeah.
Let's keep this clean. Don't get all,
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you think?
Which one? You got to ask a direct question. It's all about how you ask the question.
The second question that you asked. How do you think I've been acclimating to this new life?
I think it was a process of change for you in the beginning because, like, I'm a very clean person, and
I was nasty. Oh well. Tread lightly.
The names and geographic locations have been changed to protect not innocent, but you weren't taken care of. You were not taken care of, and you weren't happy. Like, I had seen you, except when we were together for 4 years back in the day, and like you didn't have a home to come home to. You didn't have a wife who had dinner on the table for you waiting when you came home, and the home kept clean, and all the bills are paid, and everything is taken care of, and it's a completely different situation, I think. And I see the old you with a better version.
So I was happy to leave for work in the old life before you, and I hated
Where in the equation before me?
On the second.
You were happy not to be home on the first.
The first, yes. I barely remember that. That's 100 years ago. But when you come home and you put your hand on the doorknob and you open the door to your house, because as my lovely, beautiful, awesome wife said, it wasn't a home, it was a house.
It's a dwelling.
When you turn the doorknob to your house and you open the door and see cousin It standing there in the kitchen or whatever, your significant other, and
I don't call them significant. They're not equal.
Your countenance, your demeanor, your disposition, everything just drops and falls away, and
the life sucks out of you.
Yes. That's when you need to back up from that tree and say, hey man, I need to make a choice. Do I want to keep coming and fishing in the swamp, and wallowing through the mud? Do I keep want to come home to this unhappy life, knowing that as soon as I step across this threshold, I'm going to get an argument with her, or I'm going to get an argument with him. It's going to be another big fight. And, just make a choice, at some point you gotta, listen to your little inner voice, maybe listen to somebody else who's been through what you're going through. Because there's others out there other than just me and my wife that have been there. So.
Is it odd to not have that tree in front of you anymore?
No,
No,
I
because you.
should have listened to folks sooner. I could have been a lot more happy. I could have been happy for what, the 10, 12 years that I was with that one, however long it was. I could have been happy had I just said, okay, goodbye. Right.
Mhm.
So I missed out. I screwed up, but I can't take it back. So do I regret it? Yes. Am I sorry? Yes. Am I going to waller in it? Am I going to keep putting it up in front of my face, reliving the past? No, I have to move forward. So I accepted my loss. Okay. I won't do it again.
So how do you guarantee your continual happiness?
I'm not taking off this wedding ring. That's for sure.
You're branded on both fingers, actually. I got a ring on both hands.
So yeah.
Yeah, but what do you do to make sure that you keep that happiness now? Because I'm sure people want to know, if you didn't have it before and now this is something new, how do you ensure that you don't mess it up so that you can keep it?
So I held on to a lot of secrets um in the second marriage, and with our marriage, I bared all before we got married.
Mm-hmm.
And and guys, when I say I bared all, I mean it was no different than getting naked and sitting down in front of the woman in the middle of the living room and just sharing every dark, dirty thing there was. I mean, I didn't hold back. It was hard on my wife, um, but once you get it out, there's nothing in between y'all. Absolutely nothing. And my wife is my soulmate, my best friend now, and we'll joke around, and some of it's concerning the past that I brought up, those skeletons.
Yeah, but I'm not the one who brings that up. Our daughter brings that up because you two poke fun at each other at every available moment, and you two
We
poke
have a
that up.
blast.
Yes, but the past gets brought up by her, and I end up having to like listen to it. But you guys just poke fun. But I don't say like hurtful things to remind you of your past, things of that nature. I mean,
And how do you see us building our relationship, keeping it fresh and enjoyable, and not that depressing grayness I was in?
we've never. Let me keep it clean. When we go to bed at night, we are always cracking up laughing where we can't breathe. Like we just laugh all the time. And we are always on the same page. Like I don't think people realize that, but we are always on the same page. From the littlest things, like he wanted a new flashlight. When he came home, I said, "Oh, I just wanted to give you a gift thanking you for taking care of me." And it was a flashlight.
Dang right.
And we're always on that same page. But I think also the fact we have so many good times and laugh with each other, like we don't embarrass, but we have a blast. Like the first ring, because we remarry every year, and the first ring was engraved. What was it engraved with?
Put this bitch back on.
That's right. Because I earned it. Put it back on. And I actually made it a little too small so it couldn't come off. So yeah, you have to have fun with each other, and and have pillow fights and late night snacks. And he makes my breakfast almost every morning. I couldn't believe that I didn't get mine this morning. Like it was shocking.
You went back to sleep.
I just had surgery.
Like that's an excuse for you?
I don't sleep.
Or surgery?
Oh, I have plenty of surgery. I just don't sleep. And I make him sure that he has coffee, and I make sure that he never runs out of anything he needs. He's always got everything he needs here. It's the littlest things to me that mean the most. Like he calls me chicken, and I love it. And it's just like around here, there'll be like a board that says I love us, and it'll say stucco and chicken. And people be like, what is that? No, it's our thing, and we don't share it. And the fact that like we make each other laugh all the time, it doesn't matter. It's sometimes some of the things that you do, I would have just been like, and I know Kim in heaven is laughing at me right now. I can feel it. She was always like, you're gonna marry this guy. I know. But you and I would laugh, and if some of the things that you do and I do, I would have like stopped dating someone about. just like nothing. But with you, it's hysterical. It is absolutely a riot. And we don't fight. We don't fight, which I think is just amazing. Like, we do not have arguments. We have never had a fight. And that's a great thing. Are you going to be able to keep your eyes open for this?
Oh yeah.
Because you're like starting to doze, and his 10
No, I'm
minutes
not
is
dozing.
before
I'm sitting
hour.
here thinking about, how many of these listeners are in a situation where they don't have anything to laugh about.
Right. And
That
we were there. And the reason we're
right,
doing this tonight is to show them that they can get here.
right. And how did I try to find relief or
I wouldn't
find
stop fighting
happiness?
for you.
You had to sneak around on the partner or the
Oh, well, I
husband
didn't
or
know about
wife.
that one. I didn't know about that
You
one.
had to go out and find a cheap fix, a thrill.
I was a cheap fix.
No, I'm whatever it is, that brings that person happiness, me, it was just being alone. I mean, not coming home to a dang fight, to more argument, to, just it was the constant nagging that was the main abuse that I received, was the constant nagging, like that, the water washing over that rock in the river. It's going to smooth out the rock. The rock is not going to win. And that's what, not that all women do that, but that's what that one did to me. The berating, the nagging, the
Belittling.
belittling. So
Page.
it gets to us guys, and y'all can be man and say, "Oh, I'm macho, I'm all this." No, it bugs the shit out of us. It gets to us, and all we want to do is placate that woman. Yes, dear, you're right, honey, or shut the hell up, or whatnot. I'm going to drink a beer. I'm going to the bar. I'm going in the wood shop, and something to get away from that mosquito in the tent, so to speak. That will drive you insane. And there's only so much guys can take, and no, guys, that's not excuse to get up and cause physical pain to that woman or to children or anyone around you. That's not an excuse. She didn't have it coming. She didn't force you to do it. So we are not advocating that. That's not what I'm saying.
So why chase after someone that was bad for you and then realize that you could have better? Like, why? What made you realize that you finally could have better? Because I want our listeners to realize that they deserve that happiness, and they might be exactly where you used to be as a man, and say, you know what, I'm never going to get any better. I'm going to chase cross country or whatever. And the unhappiness just continues. What was that spark that made you realize?
Well, it was basically that choice I made. This has gone on too long. Not that this has gone on long enough, but it's gone on too long, and I've allowed this to go on too long. And when you look at your surroundings and the situation that you're in, you're still in the same situation. It hasn't improved. It's gotten worse. And the only way it's going to change is if you change it. So make that choice and say, look, I want to be happy. I need to be happy. If I'm going to live past 50, I need to be happy. So I'm telling you, when you start putting hard liquor in your coffee to go to work, yeah, it's time to make a choice, y'all. Men or women, I don't know about the women, what y'all do, but
Do you have regrets?
absolutely.
Care to share?
Especially the second marriage, half of the first, because I got 2 kids out of the first. So those would be my regrets. And then with you, I should have married you long time ago when I first met you. But can't change time, can't go back. So yeah.
You have the open floor to ask me a question that you think I'll actually answer.
Why don't you just volunteer it?
That's no fun.
So what do you think about my new word, soulmationship?
I love the word. The diversion's horrible. People tell me all the time that they love our chemistry because it's authentic. It's real. They sense it. They hear it. They feel it. And that's so hard to find these days. It's so hard to find. So you need to get your head out your ass and realize that you're good at this. And this is something that we do together. And you know what? We've both been the person on the receiving end of negativity and hurt and abuse. And we both deserved to come out of it with our head held high and our life in order. And that's what we're doing. And that's what we're helping others to do. So people listen to this with that hope that they will find what we finally found. And then they'll keep trying too. So see, you're an intricate part of all this, and you need to continue to participate and not take these hiatuses, because I did offer to take this one of our 3 podcasts down and not do it anymore, because he's my rock. He is my everything. And I just look at him and I just I can't imagine not doing this with you. And you're just stuck. You have to do it.
I'm stucco.
You're stucco. You have to do it.
Yes, ma'am.
You have to.
So a lot of times I go out to my customers. I still work a full-time job for now, hopefully quitting this year. But I ask the older couples, and I say, how long have you kids been married? And, of course, they're in their 80s, 90s.
I love people that
and
age.
They say, 34 years, 52 years, and all this. And, I'm like, so, well, sir, you got to tell me your secret. And if you say scotch every night, they get some laugh, but then they say laughter. A lot of them say you got to have fun. You got to laugh with your wife or your husband, or your partner. And, they say, you're going to have spats at times, but you got to laugh together. So, man, if you're in a situation where you can't laugh with your wife or your partner or your husband, them, this, those, whomever, take a step back from that tree. And, I know you're going to think about them because you've been with them for so long, but think about you and think, hey, I want happiness and I want to live past 50 or whatever, because that happiness will help you. You won't be doing like I did, working 18 hours a day just to stay away from the home. You won't be drinking as much.
You don't drink, really?
A couple beers a night.
Not every night.
Not every night. But yeah, I want to be happy. That's what you got to ask yourself. Tell yourself, I want to be happy. And I know some of y'all can't understand my accent because I'm country redneck.
Yeah, but he'll say stuff like foil.
But I want to be happy.
Want.
Yes, my wife is saying it more correctly.
Want. Say foil.
Want.
Say seizure.
No.
Come on.
No. So
this is what our daughter does. She loves to make him do these words. And
I just
say opioid.
I can't say that.
Say seizure.
No, ma'am.
Come on. No. It's so... Our daughter has him do this, and it's so cute, because then she, who has had a speech delay for her entire life, tries to correct him, and it is the cutest thing ever to watch. It's so sweet. She's like, oh, she even told him she loves to prank him, for those of you that don't know, and she's like, Dad, guess what? I've learned a new language. I'm learning redneck. And she hands him a redneck dictionary. Oh, it's hysterical.
You say OIL.
Oil.
It's oil.
No, it's not OL. It's OIL.
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 And then
it's oil. What?
Forget it.
What? And what is WWE?
That's wrestling.
It's what?
It's wrestling.
It's wrestling.
Yes.
Wrestling.
That's what I said.
No, you didn't.
Wrestling.
You're so cute. And when you ruin something,
it's runt.
It's not a runt.
It's runt.
It's not a runt.
Runt. It's runt. You runt dinner again.
No, I'm not the one who sets off the smoke alarms.
You're right, I do. If
I
don't that smoke alarm will not go off.
Wait, if I don't.
Right. You got it right.
Okay.
If I do a good job of cooking, the smoke alarm goes off about 3 times.
Let's try it. Ruined.
No, ruined.
It's not ruined. Ruined. When you can look at your soulmate in the eyes, I'm doing right now, and you get lost, you know you found him.
Her.
It.
No, not it. Well, not for me. You're definitely a female.
Really?
Yes.
That's good
I
to know.
won't
Want
to be happy.
Are you happy?
That's what you ask yourself, guys, gals. I want to be happy.
Are you happy?
So now I need to make a choice.
And women, when your man ignores you when you ask a question,
I'm
tell them
speaking
they're
to our awesome audience.
tell them they're ruined. So, not answering the "Are you happy?" question.
Oh, absolutely. I don't have to answer.
Well, maybe our
It's
listeners
all
want
over
to
my
know.
face.
They can't see your face.
Just look at my eyes, people.
And then you could do things, find their little niche. Like when I talk like this, it takes him about 3 seconds, and then he'll say, "Come on,
No, it's
I'm gonna
PG.
go. I'm gonna go upstairs. We'll talk later. What are you gonna say? Come
No.
on."
PG-13.
Okay, what you always say in return is PG-13. Come on.
No.
Oh, come on. I know you wanna. I'll talk to you. Come on. We'll go upstairs. We'll have some coffee. We can talk. Not till you say it. Come on. Come on. Don't leave me hanging.
No.
That's so hurtful. Why would you do that?
It's you're not from New York, woman.
But when I'm not happy, it sure sounds like it. So what have you
Are
always
you saying
said?
you're not happy?
I didn't say that.
You just
What
said
are
not,
you?
When?
What do you?
When?
Because I wanted them to hear what you always say to me. Wanted them to hear what you always say when I say.
Refresh my memory.
No, you say back down south, woman.
Mm-hmm.
It's so funny. It's so cute.
Mm.
You're so cute. I have a hot husband.
Whatever.
I'll draw you. You're a hot husband.
Well, let's hope they find the same happiness.
Yes. And not worry about strays.
Yes.
Ever again.
Y'all keep listening. I'll try to come back next week. I have a hard time at this podcast thing because I suck at it.
No, you don't.
I'm no good at it.
That's not true.
I'm just a redneck, and my wife's the brains of this operation.
I'm not that smart.
You build an entire website in a month.
You haven't even put out
from scratch.
a disclosure. You haven't even put out a disclosure about it.
What's a disclosure?
It must be part of a soulmationship.
Tongue-tied?
Yeah.
I put it out on Facebook.
No, you didn't. You put out about our daughter. You didn't say anything about the website that was completely redone. Why?
I'll get right on that.
Yeah, by the time I get my shelves up. So
what is with you on shelves?
I like being organized.
Anywho.
Mm-hmm. You could start to mention the new site now. It's amazing.
contagiousmile.com. Official grand opening was 3 days ago. Maybe a week now. But it's freaking awesome. It took my wife literally a month to knock it out by herself. I had very little to no input.
One-handed.
And it's still a professional looking website. And I believe she paid maybe $30 total to build it.
Well, I had some insight on the coding part of it because I couldn't figure it out.
Yeah, but I mean, as far as cost wise.
Well, you have to get the domain and the host and all that stuff. But I did the first website, but this one is on a totally different level, I think. Not
that y'all can pay her to do this again because you probably couldn't afford her.
No.
At $150,000 an hour. But we're getting there, folks. Contagious Smile is coming along with the podcast, with the 23 platforms we're on. Our dogs, hopefully are impregnated now by our stud who's having a good time. And we're trying to get people organized and do certain things through our company to both help the listeners, the customers, and this business and their business. So,
and more importantly, our survivors.
Yes.
And our families of special needs.
We're trying to do a lot with just the little that we have, just her and I.
We do have an awesome teen talk show.
We do. Any day y'all like to join us and help,
or even be on the show,
reach out to us and say, hey, you two nuts sound fun. Let me come on and y'all interview me, and or we'll interview you. However you want to word it.
But no matter what, you have to let yourself be happy.
Absolutely.
Life's too short.
Tell me about it.
Can I have that thought?
Well, your sister just passed away, and I wish more people had heard some of the things that you told her before she passed, and to get prepared and everything. And who would have thought?
I literally told her I had my arm amputation, and
3 months ago.
Yeah, and then she wrote the most amazing, sweet message to me on Facebook, and it kills me because every time I see a memory, she's on there on every single one. And she put something out there about how she doesn't understand how I'm such a fighter and the mom that I am, and blah blah blah. And I literally wrote to her that I couldn't imagine my life without her, that she's just so amazing and such a light and inspiration. And she never wanted to advocate, and I got her into it because she was epileptic. Her son is epileptic, and she was an absolute survivor of domestic violence and just an angel on earth, truly an angel on earth. And I put on a message to her. I can't imagine not being in this world without you. I can't imagine it. And she told me, you don't have to. I'm always going to be here. And next thing you know, I'm talking to her in a coma on FaceTime, trying to explain to her son, who's saying, my mom's gonna die, who is incredibly special needs. And he's just the sweetest, most amazing young man who's stroking his mom's head, telling her that he loves her. And it came out of nowhere, completely unexpected. And I mean, really unexpected. So people really should take that into consideration and, living a will in effect, because, you don't know what's going to happen, and you don't know what's going to happen with the kids, and things need to be put in order, put in place, so that things get a little bit easier for those that are still left behind.
Right.
Now you have to end this podcast on a good note, because I'm going to be sad.
Well, maybe this podcast will help somebody. Maybe somebody will get their head out of their ass and say, hey, I'm like this guy, I want to be happy. Or somebody may say, I don't remember the show, but the end of the show was really heartfelt, and I really need to get a will. I need to go to their website and request help with that.
We're here to help.
So,
and when you find your soulmate, don't let them go.
No. Get tattoos together. That's awesome.
Yeah, I got his cherry popped. I got his first tattoo.
Easy, greasy.
I got him to get his first tattoo. You didn't tell me I was
a virgin.
Well, you were.
A blank canvas.
You were.
Yeah, first and only tattoo.
It's not your only. You'll get another one.
We'll see.
No, you will.
Well, I guess I will.
Yeah.
Whatever you say, CFO.
See? I have it recorded now. You are done, son.
Thank y'all for listening to Contagious Smile, Unstoppable, with Victoria and Michael.
My soulmate.
My what?
My soulmationship.
Bye, y'all. Hopefully see you next week.